Hello, everyone. It is Kaiju Stuff here. And today, we're doing something that I haven't done in nearly 3 years, basically 2.5 years ago. I made a video doing my top 10 favorite Godzilla figures. So not Godzilla the franchise, but Godzilla the character. And today, I would like to, revise the ranking, because quite frankly, I do think I just grabbed anything within a 3 feet proximity to where I was filming, because these figures I would not even put in a top 20, no less a top 10. Now, I will give myself credit. Some of them from last time do make it into this top 10, but this is probably the most definitive top 10 you will ever get from me, unless I get a cooler figure or something else comes up. But as of now, and probably for the next few years, because a lot of this top 10 today, a lot of nostalgia talking, but also a lot of just how cool the figure is and if you should get it and blah blah blah. So I think we should start with number 10. Now, my original number 10 was the NECA Godzilla 2014. And don't get me wrong, it's a great figure. And it just so happens that the number 10 for this list is also a NECA figure. And that is the NECA Burning Godzilla. And I chose this guy simply because of the nostalgia I have for him. Because he's the first ever NECA I ever had. I mean, he's probably the oldest figure I own with more than 5 articulation points. So this is really probably my first decent Godzilla figure that's not Bandai. So this I got at my mall, I want to say 10 years ago. It was about a year after Godzilla 2014 came out, and I got big into Godzilla from that film, and from there I got this guy, and he is the original one I got. So as you can see, he's a little beat up because he does have a little crack there. But otherwise, I mean, for 10 years, the paint job still held up. Like, the translucents still look very good. I'm very impressed with this figure lasting probably 11 years now. I'm sorry. So, 11 years, that's a long time, and I did choose this completely off nostalgia, and it's just mind-boggling that I did number 10. Last time I did this was the 2014 Godzilla. I mean, it's a great figure, but it's, to me, quite basic, and if this was not my first NECA, I would probably say it's basic too. But it is, I even take the nostalgia out of it, I do think this is still a better figure than the Godzilla 2014. But I mean, it's an opinion, so I'm sure someone else has nostalgia for the 2014 and thought my ranking was too high, and that should have been higher on the list. But this is definitely a really cool figure, and I do really think, take the nostalgia out of it, I would highly recommend getting this. Preferably on eBay, used, simply because, I mean, ever since NECA lost the Godzilla license, which I pray to God Almighty they bring it back, the NECA figures have been getting quite expensive. So I'm really glad to have experienced the time where you can go into a Walmart and get a high detailed, high articulated Godzilla figure. That's no longer the case. I mean, Haya is really doing a great job. I personally don't have any figures from them. Hopefully one day that will change, but as of now I don't. Probably because they're not in Walmarts near me. I'm sure they're in Targets, but I don't really go in Targets because I fish, and I usually go to Walmart for the fishing section. Anyway, that's a little off topic. But yeah, so that's number 10. Let's go into number 9. Now, my original number 9 was the D for Real Godzilla 1989, which, don't get me wrong, it's an awesome statue. I mean, it's a really nice painted, the sculpt. I mean, the gloss on its teeth and its eyes. I mean, it's a great statue, and if it was on your top 10, I definitely wouldn't blame you. But I am blaming myself because I do have something that is more nostalgic to me again, but I do think it's also a really nice figure, specifically for kids, and that will be the 12-inch Bandai Creation Godzilla 2004. And I know this is rarely goes into top 10s. Believe me, I get why this wouldn't be in any top 10, no less maybe even a top 30. I mean, this is not an exquisite high quality figure by any means. You could get this at Walmart back then for $15. So I get why people aren't really that crazy over this figure, but I find this figure so cool. Probably because they also made a Gigan and a Kiryu to go with this thing. And I think this figure is just honestly 5 times better when you have those two figures, because this just really fits in. But take those two figures out of it and my nostalgia, I mean, this is a really nice, decently large Godzilla toy. And if you're a kid, there's probably so many playtimes you could get out of this, and it's definitely durable. I've had this for probably 8 years, and it's really stood the test of time. And I like how it has pretty much the same quality of a 6-inch Japanese Bandai figure, and yet it's a 12-inch, and I do like just how gnarly he looks. He doesn't really look like the 2004 Godzilla. He definitely has more of like a cat face than usual, and I find that to be really cool. And also, these past 2 years, I've really had a fascination with slightly over-the-top Godzilla figures, so something that's probably above 8 inches. I would like more than something that's 6 inches. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the Bandai 6-inch. It's a classic, I guess, scale, but this is just really cool how it's a little bigger, and it won't really take up much space. And it's a shame that these aren't in Walmarts anymore. I mean, the last time I saw them was actually quite recently, probably 3 years ago. So, to be honest with you guys, I wouldn't be surprised if there are some stranglers still in Walmarts, because I know there have been Godzilla figures reappearing in Targets at Walmart, so that's up for debate. I'm sure I'm wrong, but then again, I have seen 6-inch Godzilla Creation figures re-releasing in Walmarts, so I don't know if this is back, but if it is, that'd be really cool and something really neat for the next generation of Godzilla fans. So, let's move on to number 8. Now, my original number 8 was the Bandai Godzilla vs. Mothra 1992 figure from that set. I mean, I don't know why I put that there. It's definitely, to be honest with all of you, the most basic Heisei Godzilla figure I own, by like a long shot. So, I mean, it's a little bit rare. It's on the rarer side, and it comes with Mothra and Batra, so I get why I put it there. But otherwise, extremely basic figure, and I really wouldn't even think about it today, even in a top 30. So, I mean, I don't know. So, for this number 8, there's no nostalgia. This is the first figure with zero nostalgia. There's zero nostalgia within this figure for me, but I just find it really cool, and I like the company it's made by, and that would be the 10-inch Trendmasters Supercharged Godzilla. And the best part is that mine still should work. Yeah. So that probably is definitely a contributing factor to how much I like this figure, is that it works, number one. Number two, it's 10 inches tall, so it's a little bigger than a 6-inch. And number three, just Trendmasters. I mean, this thing's sick. If you look at it, it just looks like 1994 had a love child with an iguana. I mean, this is really the definition of, like, the 90s totally tubular persona, and I find that really cool, just how Godzilla looks. I also like the supercharged variant, because, you know, it looks more movie accurate. So just, this is such a cool figure, and I'm so blessed that I have this and the King Ghidorah. So it's just really cool, and I mean, no nostalgia whatsoever. If you guys are thinking that I had nostalgia, I definitely don't. I just bought this, and I think it's really cool. So there's that. Very cool. Let's move on to number 7. Now, my original number 7 is the Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla 2000, which, don't get me wrong, it's only been 2.5 years, but in that time, I've really grown to understand how important memories are, and that figure is a lot higher on this list for reasons that we'll get into once we get to that figure. But for this number 7 on this list, it is the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 1991. And once again, I mean, no nostalgia really. I got this in New York City, so I mean, it was a fun time, but there's no nostalgia, there's no really impactful memories with this. It's just a really nice figure. I mean, my favorite incarnation of Godzilla has always been the Heisei era version of Godzilla, so this is, to me, the epitome of, like, a good Heisei era Godzilla figure. I mean, this is just a really nice figure. It's got really nice paint job, articulation, So, I mean, if you were to get a Heisei King Ghidorah or just a Mecha King Ghidorah to go with this, I just obviously didn't, because, you know, $450. I mean, I would never spend that. I would never do that. No, never. I would never do it again. Let me put it that way. Just, yeah, though. I mean, this is just a really nice figure. If you're looking for a somewhat reasonably priced SH Monster Arts, this one's not that bad. He'll probably run you $90. I mean, as long as it's not above $100 with SH Monster Arts. And I know that's like, you know, 1/10 of their product is below $100, but I'm just saying, this is definitely a somewhat friendly budget choice if you want something this good, because it is very good. So, let's move on to number 6. And yeah. Now, this is the first one on the list that actually is still on the list, but went down in number. So instead of, I had it as number 2, believe it or not. I think it was recency bias, because back then I literally bought it, I believe, I don't know, a month before making the video, and I thought this was the coolest thing when I bought it. And I think it's still really cool, because it still made the top 10. But now it's at number 6, and the original number 6 was the Bandai 8-inch Godzilla 1991, which, if you don't know, came with a Godzillasaurus, and I still use it for the series. If you guys watch the series, all 4 of you, you'll know that the Godzillasaurus in the series became fake Godzilla, and those 2 figures actually came together, so that worked out pretty nicely. And I did get them separately, so that also worked out pretty nicely. But for number 6, here we have the Bandai Ichiban Godzilla 2021. Now, I mean, if you need a statue, say you're a mob boss, right? You're a mob boss. And, you know, Fat Tony just died because he didn't owe you your money. And he really liked Godzilla, and you want to memorialize him because you do, even though he owed you money. you get this and you put it on your desk. Like, this is definitely something you don't just give to a kid and say play with. This is a statue. I mean, it's not that heavy, but it's got just the amount of weight to where you can tell it's somewhat pricey. I mean, this will run you probably $100, so it's not terribly expensive, but it's definitely an investment, especially if you're using it for intimidation, because the pose it's in, I mean, it looks like an alligator lunging at a zebra. It's a very neat statue, and once again, when I ranked it back then, it was number 2. So, you could tell how much I liked it, and how much it just devolved into being a nice statue instead of, like, one of my favorite figures. So, really cool figure. It's not even a figure, it's a statue. And I really don't have that many statues. I wouldn't really consider X Plus to be somewhat statues, because they do have, you know, like 3 or 4 points of articulation. So, I mean, if we're talking about just straight up statues that are somewhat heavy, I probably have 3 or 4. I mean, if you guys want to see a short or even a long-term video, let me know of just all about statues if you guys are into that. But, I mean, I wouldn't think that's that interesting. So yeah, this is probably the coolest Godzilla statue, or one of, because there is another one on here. Now that I'm looking at my list, there is another Godzilla statue on this list that I actually made a recent review on. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So, really cool figure. Statue, rather. And just, I mean, it's the perfect scale to where it's not overly big or small. So, let's just move on to number 5, shall we? Now, number 5 in my original list was the 10-inch Trendmaster Supercharged Godzilla, which we just mentioned. And it was probably higher on the list than it is today. Most likely because of the recency bias, because I do believe I got it literally a couple weeks, if not a month, before the shooting of the top 10, you know, Godzilla figures. So, you know, obviously I don't have recency bias for it anymore because it's been 2 years. So, for my number 5 now, it will be the Jamina, quote, Rex. Now, this is the only bootleg in my entire collection that I actually have a strong, I guess you would say, following for it. I mean, this is, I didn't even know it was a bootleg until relatively recently. I always thought this was just a very obscure Godzilla animatronic plush, and believe me, it technically is, but they labeled it as Rex in 1987. And the reason why I find this just so interesting is because they made a version of this with just triangle generic dorsal plates, when obviously Godzilla has ones that look exactly like this. Don't mind the dog hair. The felt attracts dog hair like no other. But, so, and that was right after the American release of The Return of Godzilla. And, to top it all off, I find, this is just a personal thing, I find this to be almost exact to the Marvel Godzilla. Just the way how this looks. I mean, it's green, it's got like the really big, bulging red eyes with the overly large teeth. I mean, to me, this is one of the only Marvel Godzillas, just in my opinion, that we actually got, even though it's unofficial. I'm sure there's a lot of bootleggers from Taiwan right now creating plushes of the Marvel Godzilla, but I just mean something that's decently high quality, because believe me, this is nice and soft, and back then it used to be able to move. So, just the fact that we have something that's roughly in the era of Marvel Godzilla, 10 years off, and just it looks exactly like it, that's why it's number 5 for me. Because so few people have this, and I got this at a garage sale, and I've had this for probably 5 years. It was right before the pandemic, so probably 6 years it's been. I don't know. I mean, this is just truly, it's a great figure. But it's not even a figure. It's an animatronic plush, and if you find one of these that works, you have like a treasure of Godzilla bootlegs, because this is definitely my favorite bootleg out of any bootlegs, and I do have a few that I find to be very cool. It's just this one in particular really gets my gears grinding, because it just makes me think of some guys in an office thinking about that comic book, and that, like, what if they ripped it off? And who knows, maybe they had no idea about the comic book, but they saw the new movie featuring Dr. Pepper, and they thought it was a good idea to rip it off, because obviously the original one, not this one, came with triangle dorsal plates, not these oddly shaped Godzilla looking ones. So I don't know, I just find this to be a really just awesome thing. So I'm sure no one else does on this earth. They probably just think, oh, it's a dumb bootleg, because believe me, it is a dumb bootleg, but it just looks really cool. I find this to be really cool. So there's your little history lesson about this bootleg. So let's move on, number 4. Now, my original number 4 was the NECA Godzilla GMK, which, don't get me wrong, great figure, great articulation, great paint job. I mean, that's a really nice GMK. But I don't know why it would be in my top 10. I mean, it's a very basic, nice figure. When I think of a nice figure, but it doesn't really spark anything in me, I probably think of that one. But the figure for my new number 4 is something that's somewhat lost its charm for me. It's kind of a shame. It's for multiple reasons. So that will be this very Godzilla. Now, this is the figure that I used to create half of the main series so far. I'm sure it's going to be beaten soon by my new one, because I did get a new one. So, for all 3 of you watching the main series that I put out, if you've noticed that sometimes Godzilla has no toe and sometimes he does, this is why. It's because whenever I'm traveling, I take this guy just in case I lose him. I don't want to lose the one I just got, but I did want to get a new one anyway, because I didn't think I was ever going to be using this one again, but I thought it was a good idea to use this one in particular while traveling. So, I'm going to talk about this one, because this is the one that really got me into creating videos with Godzilla. And I know you're probably thinking it's MIB, and is it that? Yes, absolutely it is. I won't deny that I'm a big, I guess, like, just one big bootleg of MIB. Even there's some plots that I look at it and I say, ooh, I shouldn't have done that, because it's, like, exactly like MIB. And if I were to go back, I would definitely change a few things to just be a little bit more unique compared to MIB, but I mean, I definitely blame myself for that. No one else. I take initiative in that I totally blame myself for this. So, I mean, I don't know. That's a little bit of a my bad, but this particular figure, taking out the MIB thing, this is the first time, this figure was the first video I ever made on a crappy, I think it was an Android like 12 back in 2019 or 18, probably 18, and it really this figure's been through so much, and it's remarkable that this figure only broke relatively recently, because in the episode, The Snow Day, I had the voice of Kiryu, like, there's a scene where Godzilla was, going down the hill, like, with the sled, and at the end, he was supposed to, like, fly off, and we filmed him flying off, because you can't actually have him fall off, you have to have him dramatically shoot off, so that's what we did, and the voice of Kiryu, aka Kaiju Stuff 2, whichever you guys prefer, he threw him, and when he threw him, I guess he landed on his toe here, because we lost the toe in the snow, in the inch of snow. I wish I did it this year, this Snow Day episode, because this year was a lot better than last year's snow. But yeah, so as you can see, this is from the Manila Christmas episode with the Rudolph. I mean, that was the beard. I mean, this guy has been to probably more states than some people I know, because you have to remember, I was making videos on my DS, on my really old crappy phone. I mean, I was making videos for years before I actually decided to make a YouTube channel. So I would go to these different states for a vacation, like Virginia, South Carolina, Florida. Not actually Florida, that's not true. Not Florida. But, you know, New York. I mean, there was this one episode, I wish I saved it, and it was Zilla playing with pigeons right next to St. Patrick's Cathedral. And that's a great video, and I wish I still had it, because it's such a great video, and I hope one day I can recover it from an old SD card. And I don't know. I'm just saying that this thing it's been to Maine, it's been through all of New England, Pennsylvania. This thing has been a lot of places, and I'm so thankful that I've had all these memories with this particular Godzilla. And this guy's essentially retired. I mean, he'll still travel with me to places, because I don't want to lose, you know, the Godzilla I just got to be used normally. But yeah, this guy's definitely been through a lot, and the nostalgia factor, it's what's keeping it in the top 10, and it will forever stay in the top 10. Even if it's number 10, I will make sure that it is at least in the top 10. But it really did kind of lose its magic to me, because it just reminds me of things that I would change about my YouTube channel, and that I can never change again unless I delete a lot of videos and remake a lot of videos, but I wouldn't want to do that. So that was a long rant, and I'm sorry about that, but I feel like it had to have been shared, and that's really it. So let's sorry about that, guys. Let's move on to number 3 and stay on track. Now, this one is just really one of my most favorite figures, simply because of the price I got it for, the detail of it, just the sculpt, and my work that I put into it, because for about a week I put in a lot of work for this figure. So my original number 3 was the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2019. Once again, I mean, not really a crazy figure. I mean, I would never put it in a top 10 now. No less a top, like, 20. I mean, maybe top 20, but, like, low on the list. I don't know why I put it there. Once again, I really do think I just put any SH Monster Arts or anything I had at the time that was somewhat expensive, because I've really branched out into having things that are more rare than expensive, but are also both at the same time. Whatever, I don't know what was going through my head. So, for this number 3, it is the Bandai Gigantic Series Godzilla 1962 statue. Now, the reason why this is probably number 3 is because I'm very proud of myself by painting this, and I got it completely blank, and I'm not good with model kits. This was a model kit, and it was like, you know, the paste model, so like you gotta put in the paste. It's not like you could just snap it in, so I'm really not good with that stuff. I was never good with Legos or anything, so I was never terrible at painting. So I saw this, and the guy really had no idea what he was talking about. I got at a comic book store relatively near me, and the guy had no idea what he was talking about. He had no idea, and I mean, he was kind of a jerk. I'm not gonna say he wasn't. I mean, he really was just not a happy guy. I don't know if it's because he wasn't selling anything, because every time I go by there, it's dead. Whatever the case is, he was not that happy, and that was like my second time in there, probably last time in there, just because I wouldn't want to give him my my money again, to be completely honest. He just was not a nice guy, and he had no idea what he was talking about. Sold this to me for about, you know, $120, whatever it was. I think it was 100. It was definitely not above 130. I think it was like 115. But long story short, I got home and this thing was just blank. I mean, just blank. So what I did is that I painted it all, and I think it looks spectacular. I wish I did like a somewhat of a greenish hue to the black, but otherwise, I think I did a great job, and I'm very proud of myself. So, plus, it's really heavy, and that makes my brain think there's like some sort of luxury to it. So that's also another reason. But I mean, it's a really cool figure. Not even a figure, it's like a statue. I mean, you would see this in front of a government building, but like cemented to the ground, and obviously all white. I mean, this is just awesome statue. Great thing. Very proud of myself. And I'm happy I got a deal from that loser who sold it to me. So, let's move on to number 2. Now, for number 2, we had to come to my couch, because my original number 2 was the Bandai Ichiban Godzilla 2021, which we just mentioned previously. But this number 2, I don't know how this didn't make it in the top 10 last time. That would be this. This is the Jack Pacific Godzilla 2014. I mean, this thing, it's the size, it's about half a couch when you really look at it. The length, I mean, this is just overwhelming how big this figure is. This is just such a neat, awesome figure. I did lose the tip of its tail, because I've had this since it came out in 2014. This is probably my 3rd Godzilla ever, if not 4th, and I'm amazed it's still in this high of quality. I mean, this is just really an awesome figure. I mean, when I first got it, I was probably 10 inches taller than it. So imagine being that height and seeing this. I mean, this is like a dinosaur. This is just such an awesome, big figure. If I told you guys already, I have this fascination with just overly large, in-your-face Godzilla figures. And this definitely proved my point of how much I like this figure. I mean, just, it's so big. I mean, it's ridiculous. If you were to get this back then, it would have been expensive, and now it's really expensive. So the fact that this I still have, and that it's roughly $500 now, that's mind-boggling to me. I will probably never sell it, just because, I mean, why would I? This is, I don't know, just a really cool figure, a lot of nostalgia. Obviously, I didn't go anywhere with this. I mean, this could be a piece of furniture. This is how big this is. So, I have no real travel nostalgia for this thing. But just, there's so many times where I would have army men or even pets. I would have pets. And it was just a lot of good times with this big, overly large Godzilla figure. And a lot of people had broke theirs or destroyed theirs. And mine has seen a lot. If I even flip to the other side here, there is some blue paint. That's about it, though. That's really it. Otherwise, really nice, big figure. I have zero complaints. Zero. This is... If it wasn't for the nostalgia for the next one, this would be my favorite figure in my entire collection, just because of how large it is, and that we don't really see anything this large in the United States for Godzilla. I know there was supposed to be something for the Godzilla versus King Kong. I don't know if that was scrapped or not. But let me just say, this is definitely just an awesome thing to have. It's like a Komodo dragon in your house. It's really crazy. So, let's move on to the final one of my top 10 Godzilla figures in my collection, shall we? Now, before we get into my number 1 Godzilla in my entire collection, let me just say that my original number 1 was the Bandai Godzilla Island series Godzilla, which I just mentioned, and it's on my series, but I told you already, guys, I look at that figure very differently now because I have a different mindset, and it pains me how much the series resembles Monster Island Buddies, and I'm so sorry, guys. But hopefully we can differentiate even more, because I think so far we did a good job at making it a little different. And yeah, so sorry about that. And that used to be my number 1 because of all the nostalgia with that. But I have a new number 1. And this is just, it's really something special. So I have 2 of these, and this is the first one. This is the one that's been through hell and back. This is the Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla 2000. And if you can believe, this was my first ever Godzilla. This was the first ever Godzilla figure I ever held in my hands. It is indeed a relic. It's probably 12 years old now. It has seen a lot. It has survived a house fire. It has survived a pandemic. It's just crazy how this is still... it's been through 4 presidential terms. I got this when Obama was president. This is just... The nostalgia I have for this is monumental. This is definitely my favorite Godzilla figure. And I do have another one that is brand new. And as you could see, you could definitely tell it is newer. And I did get this simply to show myself how much I played with this throughout the years and how much that has shaped my imagination, really. So this is the new one. It looks brand new because it is. I rarely touch it, to be honest with you. I just have it in the collection so I can have one that, is more, I guess, accessible than this, because this one I have on my, quote, special shelf, and this one I have in my Millennium Godzilla area with, like, Megaguirus and Orga and all that. So this one, it's remarkable that he's still I mean, I'm just amazed. I got this in New York again, and yeah, I have no words, because you know what? Unlike the Godzilla from the series, Godzilla, like the Monster Island, the Godzilla Island series, Bandai 1994, whatever. This guy has only probably been to, I don't know, 3 states. In the way I, when it was with me, I'm sure it's been to California through the shipping, I don't know. But I'm just saying, in my hands, this has been, you know, only to 3 states. There was no traveling involved with this. I don't have any memories of this being anywhere really impactful. I mean, I live in the New York metropolitan area, so I'm sure there's a lot of people that think, oh, New York, I mean, it's like a once-in-a-lifetime trip, and I mean, I don't know, I feel like that'd be like a Chicago for me, if there's anyone in the Midwest, or like a Los Angeles, I don't know. It's just I live in the metropolitan area, so it's really not a life-changing trip for me, so I can't really talk upon that, but I'm just saying, this guy's really, he hasn't been anywhere interesting. I think he went to Virginia with me once. I don't think he's ever been to Pennsylvania. I don't think he's been anywhere really crazy in New Jersey. He's never been to New England, so I've never traveled with him, but just the fact that he's really an awesome figure, that's really it. He's just the memories I have. Oh my god. I mean, when I had a house fire, I basically, I mean, this house, it never burned down or anything. I'm just saying the soot had to be all cleaned out and whatnot out of the basement. And back then, all my figures were in my room, not the basement. And also back then, I only had like 10 figures. Anyway, I had like, you know, the 5 figures with me, and this was one of them, and I kid you not, because the insurance sent us to like a hotel, and for that summer, for about 2.5 months, I lived in a hotel, and it was fun and all, because I got a pool and free breakfast every day, and it was good, and the house fire never really turned into anything, knock on wood. The only problem is that the cleanup took forever. So, this guy, I just have so many memories of being in that hotel room with this guy, with like other Bandai creation Godzilla figures. But this one in particular has just more memories than the other ones. And this guy is just very special to me. So, yeah. I'm going to end this video here so it doesn't turn into another rant. If you guys enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps. I have a very special video planned for the 500th subscriber special. So I'm hoping we get there at least by the channel's 3-year anniversary we could do. That sounds good to me. I don't know, what was that, 2.5 months? I think we could do that. So if you guys can help me reach that, my ultimate goal as doing YouTube is 1,000 subscribers. That's really nothing, because Mr. Beast, he probably gets that in 8 minutes. So it's really nothing. It's just that number to me is just such a neat number. And I think it'd be really cool to get there. 1,000 subscribers. I mean, that'd be crazy. So for my 500 subscriber special, there is going to be something quite special for the special. So with that, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, like this video, share it, do whatever you gotta do, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.